they're back in their own podcast. Sit back, relax, Still Spinning is here. Still spinning, still spinning, still spinning, still spinning.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Still Spinning Podcast, episode 133. Dan and I were chatting all the way up until we realized we were A, in the wrong studio, and B, it was showtime.
And then when we got here, like, well, we forgot how to do this. Like, there's buttons I gotta push this button and everything. And so, yeah, we got it. We're here.
Yeah.
We pulled it off. We made it work.
Yes, and we're very happy that you are here as well.
I want to derail us right off the bat.
Great.
This is not on any list of things, but the opening of the podcast here, the video, reminded me of something.
Okay.
I was having coffee today.
Weird.
I know, but listen to this though. I actually went there. Somebody's like, "You want to go to Starbucks?" And I'm like, "I've heard of the place. I'll give it a shot." So we went there. I'm having coffee now with all the old people. Just FYI.
I love it.
Yeah, like they're like I'm the youngest by like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's totally fine. It's like this is my people. I was
gonna
love
say
it.
This is like your dream audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There were 4 of them. So I had this conversation with them, and then I was talking to the young people that worked at Starbucks.
Oh boy.
So I guess what I'm saying is we're not just limiting this to just the old people. So there were 4 people over 70, and there were 4 people under probably 26.
Okay.
Not one of them, not a single one of them knew that we are about to send people back to the moon. Do you know this?
I mean, I guess.
Like, we are a month away from putting people back. Now this crew is not landing on the moon. They're going to go around the moon. This is sort of the test. You know, this is like Apollo 10. This is the one going around, making sure all the systems work, making sure all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year or 2 after that, they're actually going to send people back to land on the moon.
I mean, I did just recently see that Elon, that's SpaceX.
Yeah.
They're kind of shifting gears from Mars to the moon. Maybe this is why, but I
believe they're the ones making. So the rocket that's going into space is not a SpaceX rocket. It's a NASA rocket, but I believe SpaceX is making the capsule that will go to the moon.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, if Keith Conrad's here, he'll correct me on this. Like, I might be wrong about that. But the point is, we are about to put people, like, we are less than a month away from putting people the furthest away from Earth that any human being has ever been. Because they're taking a longer route around the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be further than any human has ever been from Earth. And nobody knows about it. Like, how is this like space travel has become so routine, right? Like,
well, and I think it's not hit any of the news cycles, because I read a lot of at least high level news, right? And I didn't see this mentioned on anything.
The Artemis 2 mission. You've not seen them talk about the Artemis 2 tests in it?
No.
How is this possible? Like, how are we at a point in this world? Like, even with this crazy as everything is, you would think this would be like the perfect. Like, what else can we talk about? Oh, we're going to the moon. Let's talk about that, right? Yeah. Like that would be a good distraction.
It does seem a little strange that we aren't hearing about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that used to be, when we were growing up, that was front page. You know, we all stopped classes and watched the unfortunate situation with the Challenger.
I remember that well.
Yeah, I think we all do, of our generation.
And then what do we do? By the way, sad side note to all of that. What happened? Space Shuttle Challenger blew up. We're all like, what? I was in, I think, 6th grade. I was in 6th grade at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Challenger blew up.
Wow, we all watched it.
We all watched it happen. We all knew. We're like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Those people are just, those people are
understatement.
all dead. Like, wow, what the heck? We're all just kind of staring at each other. What did we all do? Did we go to like some classes and grief counseling and all this kind of stuff? What did we do?
We just went to lunch, probably.
We went back to lunch or to English class, whichever one.
Yeah.
If you were on second period lunch, you went back to English class, and then it was really never, it was never explored or what. You went home and watched it, right?
Yeah, this is why we're all in therapy.
Yeah, that was like the first I remember big story, like the first wall-to-wall coverage news story I think I can remember is like maybe when Reagan was shot. I barely remember that one, but certainly when the Challenger exploded, I remembered how that was like on Dan Rather on CBS, and it was like on 24. It was like on all the time. But yeah. Anyway, just a heads up in case you don't know, everybody, we're about to go back to the moon, and the opening of the Still Spinning podcast with the rocket taking off
made you think of it. Did any of them care? And I'm not asking that facetiously. Like, were any of them like?
Well, the older people were like, oh, well, that's good, because but the young people are like, oh no, it's like that isn't even a thing to them. Like they're like, we're not already there. I mean, people don't live on the moon. Like what? Yeah. We don't have people there already. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so
all right.
I apologize. I apologize for the 7-minute derailing of the Still Spinning podcast right off the top.
Do you think we could send them our intro and say, hey, how about some free advertising? I mean, we pretty much use a space situation in our intro, and maybe we could become the official podcast of the
Artemis 2 mission.
Of the Artemis 2
considering
mission.
You didn't know that it was going on until like
what better way to educate than to show one knows stuff and the other one's not so much.
I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to put the Still Spinning logo on there. They already have the logo. It's got the 250 America 250 on it.
Oh, and by the way, did you see that logo? They had it in the Super Bowl last night.
No.
I think it's real hard to read. If you don't know what it is, you're not going to know what it is. I don't think. Have you seen it? It looks like ribbons.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Maybe it's because I was seeing it as people were holding it up, but I just thought it was kind of a weird.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not super clear what it is.
Yeah, you have to know it's 250, and then you go, oh yeah, clearly it says 250. But if you were like, what America? Like what? Like Q
gibberish? I don't know what that says.
Q-P-O? Q? What is? Yep. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that is a little.
Yeah,
I feel like we could have done better on that one.
Honestly.
Why not just have 250 in ribbon like that? We just
I don't know.
Separate it, right? Like just make 250 pretty clear. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, speaking of the Super Bowl, obviously the Super Bowl was yesterday, and if you were like me, you record it, watch the Olympics for a while, then come back to it so you can just fast forward through the football and just watch the commercials.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, 100%.
How'd that go for you?
Great. It's the perfect way to do it because I do not care about the football at all, nor does my husband. We did watch all the not all the pre stuff. Boy, for an hour and a half, there was nothing in that pre-show stuff.
There's never anything, like never.
Mm-hmm. Brandy Carlisle sang America the Beautiful, and it was amazing. And the Sista Strings.
Yeah, from Milwaukee.
Were her only accompaniment. It was her and a guitar and then Sista Strings, and that was really cool. I thought it was kind of a weird rendition of the national anthem. Charlie Puth? I don't know. I didn't know who he was, but apparently he's a singer. He sounded great. It was just kind of a what do they call that? The mix, the arrangement. I just
the arrangement. That's a song, by the way. They have coaches that teach people specifically to sing that song because who did I read? I was watching a thing. There's somebody who the Super Bowl hires to sit down with artists and go over like the history of the song and why they're saying what they're saying.
Oh, interesting.
And apparently that's one of the hardest songs to sing.
It does not surprise me. And it's a pretty big stage. And you got to be nervous.
And you can't. And apparently until recently, there was a big problem with. So, by the way, this makes Whitney Houston's performance of the national anthem stand out. Like that will never be topped because even if somebody can top it now, they have the earphones in. Their sound. Yeah, that's down. Like they're only hearing. They probably got like noise cancellation, blah blah blah. So they're only hearing themselves. Whitney didn't. And so the fact that she was belting that out with all that music coming right back at her, I don't think anybody understands how hard that is to sing when you have it coming back to you 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah, I did an event like maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, time doesn't mean anything. It was for 10,000 people in this huge space in Orlando, and it is just talking was so distracting because the echo was coming back.
Yep.
I can't imagine trying to sing on key in that situation, but they definitely have done a lot of
I was
sound
on
improvement
stage at the Dane County Coliseum, and I had to introduce the band Alabama. And we went out there, like, hey, everybody, welcome. Hey, welcome, everybody. You're like, whoa, that's so weird. Like, how do you sing? And then a couple of the players didn't have monitors in. They were just, they're just jamming to their own monitor in front of them. But like, that's like, how do you sing like that? Like,
yeah. And if you have ADD, like that's so distracting. You're just like, it's my voice. What's happening? I don't know what to do.
Yes.
But anyway, so yes, I just scrolled through to watch the commercials. And apparently I missed the Melissa McCarthy one. I got to go back and watch that. And I was specifically watching for it because I had seen her in costume and hadn't seen it. My favorite commercial, I'm sorry, there was a theme this year. It was either an AI, a pro AI commercial. There were a ton of those. Or there was a lot of quite literally bathroom humor, which you all know which way I'm going to go for my preferences. The Manscaped commercial, without a doubt, was my favorite commercial.
That was so. I didn't watch any of these. Nicole sent them and said, "Hey, here's the one. Here's the one." That was so freaking weird,
but so funny, right? Will you?
I don't know. Is that funny?
Oh yeah, it's funny. So if you didn't see it, it had it's for manscaping, which for those of you who don't know is a razor specifically for men to take care of different parts of their body. And it was little piles of shaved off hair singing. And it was hilarious because you know what you're going to remember? You're going to remember that commercial.
I remember it now as we're sitting here. I remember, that was, and it's like an ode to the body part that it used to be on.
Correct. And they cut it off at a certain point, which is gross, even better.
Because it's like splash at the bottom of the shower, and it's in there singing, and it's I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to tell you what I think about that.
You laughed.
I did laugh, but I'm like, I'm laughing because it's so gross.
Yeah, there were
so stupid.
Toilet humor. So that one was probably the grossest of the ones. Liquid IV had one that had toilets singing.
Take a look at me now.
Yep.
And you're wondering, why are they singing Take a Look at Me Now? And who is this even for? And what's this? Because that was a 1 minute commercial.
It was pretty long.
And I didn't know until about 48 seconds in, not only who was it for, but why this song is. Why?
Because it was all about looking at your pee when you're done. Which, by the way, if you do not look at what has come out of your body every time you go to the bathroom.
Who doesn't?
That's what I'm saying. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. You got to look. Both sides. You know what I'm saying? You need to know what's coming out.
It's your health. It really is. Like,
you can learn a lot.
Yes.
And Liquid IV, that's their whole point. You can learn a lot. And if you're hydrated enough, you got to look at your pee. Now, it does not work so well if you have any sort of cleaner, like those tablet drop-ins that change the color of your water.
Right.
Then you just don't know. I guess whatever color, usually those
green.
are blue. So
Turns
whatever
green,
color green comes up. And then there was a brand.
Hey, did they make a thing yet made specifically to drop in your water in your toilet? Like before, just to see anything, like to test your health. And if it's like, oh, nope, it's purple, you better go get checked out for this or this or this, or nope, it's dark blue, you should go get checked out for this or this or this.
We
like
talked
a tablet.
About some sort of camera.
There
of that, but I don't know that there's been a drop in. Dan, $1 million idea. Don't steal it, everybody.
Like Alka-Seltzer, right? You just drop it in the toilet before you go, just to check. Like once a month, let's just check and see how the.
Yeah, or like a poopery where you spray it and then as it travels through, something happens. I think there's something to this.
Yeah, like we're giving away ideas here.
I think we are. Oh,
Dan,
Pretty Litter.
Yeah, Pretty Litter.
Exactly.
That's the human version of Pretty Litter is exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yep. And then the other one that stood out to me as the toilet humor one was it was a brand. Raisin Bran commercial with William Shatner, but his character's name was Will Shat. And then they said it 100 different times. Oh, Shat's here. You Shat. And so they kept saying Shat, which if you don't know is the past tense of shit. Yes. And there was a Shih Tzu in it as well. So they were really skirting the censor guys who are saying you can't swear.
Well, remember what the big one that did that before? That was not the Super Bowl commercial.
It was it the Saturday Night Live skit?
No. There was a big one that was remember that if you were going to talk about the word shit, you remember what it was? First, it was Kmart. You remember?
Oh, we'll ship your pants.
Ship your pants. You'll ship my pants? You'll ship my pants? Yeah, we'll ship your pants. You can ship your pants. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. You know who wrote that?
You?
No, one of my business partners.
Oh.
My first tearjerker was the Lay's commercial where it was all about inheriting the family farm. That was the first one that made me cry. The polar bears, the Pepsi Zero used polar bears in their commercial where it starts off with the polar bear doing a blind taste test between Coke Zero and Pepsi One or Pepsi Zero, and he chose Pepsi. And then it was him going into therapy and like having this struggle his whole life with his identity.
So they started a war.
They did. It was very fun. And Goodwill Dunkin', the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, had George from Seinfeld, had, God, I don't want a thumbs up, had Joey from Friends, had Rachel from Friends, had, oh gosh, who else did it have? Had Urkel, had Alfonso Ribeiro from
Fresh Prince.
So it had all of these sitcom stars, which was very fun. Overall, Carlton, thank you. Overall, the amount of star power in these commercials, Ben Stiller was in a commercial, Andy Samberg was in a commercial, Emma Stone. I like
Andy Samberg. That was pretty funny. The
mayonnaise.
What was? Yeah,
wasn't it Hellman's?
Yeah, it was mayonnaise, but it was
Neil Diamond.
Meal Diamond.
Yeah, Meal Diamond. Yes. Yeah, there were some good puns.
Ham, touching ham. Yeah. There
was also, and I think these might have been Chicago local, there was a series of dad joke commercials for a window company that was pretty funny. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good year for the commercials. I don't think it'll ever go back to what it was, before we had streaming, before they were putting them out ahead of time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like most of these commercials you could go see well before the Super Bowl. Like in fact, I think it was like SuperBowlCommercials.com or something like that. And they started uploading their commercials well before the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so Peacock had the rights to the Super Bowl, as does the Olympics. So again, we were watching the Olympics. They still put commercials in Peacock, even if you're streaming, and they were streaming Super Bowl commercials.
So they're already started on the Super Bowl. Now we can air them over here. So you got to see it before you even.
I mean, I'm assuming, but there were definitely some I said, oh, we just saw this.
Can I tell you the one that you sent that I again didn't watch it, so I didn't see any of these live, but these are the ones Nicole. So I'm missing a whole bunch of them, I'm sure, but of the ones Nicole told me to watch, Budweiser.
I did not like it.
Not now the Bud Light one with Shane Gillis and
Post Malone.
Post Malone and here you go, talk about star power. Shane Gillis, Post Malone, and quarterback Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, football, blah blah.
Yeah, blah blah blah. So that was okay, but
that one was fun.
But the Budweiser commercial,
the Clydesdale commercial.
Yes, the Clydesdale commercial with the bald eagle. I like bald eagles. I love bald eagles. I love Budweiser Clydesdales. I do. I think
AI, baby.
They are two American icons, and I love them both. I get excited when I see a Budweiser Clydesdale. I mean, it makes me think of opening day at Busch Stadium, right? When I see a Clydesdale, I love it. I will go see. I don't go see anything like I won't go see like bands at State Fair, but if the Clydesdales are there, I'll go see the Clydesdales. I like them. Yeah. I love bald eagles. I stand out in freezing weather to take pictures of bald eagles back home, right? In the Quad Cities. Love them. This just felt like it was so forced. It was, like there's that Bitmoji that has somebody riding on the back of an eagle going, America, yeah. It feels like they were not
surprised.
Yeah, it feels like they were doing that. It was so. Then there was the scene where the horse is jumping with the eagle on its back, so it's a horse with bald eagle wings. I'm like, that is so. Like, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah.
I love America. I love all things America. I love Clydesdales and I love bald eagles. That was like, I'm like, come on, guys, you're trying way too hard. They will never top. Yeah.
They went back to the Super Bowl, and there was a live Clydesdale with a live eagle that was like, chained up, of course.
Yeah.
On its back.
You told me that. I obviously didn't see that, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, this was such a weird commercial. Mm-hmm. Like, you're trying way too hard. The problem is I don't think. And again, this is, you talk about timing and matching the mood of the world and the country and everything. They will never, ever. In fact, if they would have retired the Clydesdales at this point, if you were ever going to retire them after the Budweiser, the 2001 Twin Towers commercial,
I'd have to see it again.
Oh God! To this day, where the Clydesdales are marching to New York, where the Twin Towers used to be, and then they bow at the end.
Oh yeah.
To this day, I see that commercial and I'm like, I cry when I see that commercial. To this day, they'll never top that.
No.
So.
I usually cry in the Clydesdale commercial. This year, I was not impressed. Yeah. It's just such a different climate because some people like me record it and just fast forward through. A lot of people don't watch it at all. Or like you said, all the commercials are available. Why would I bother watching a game I don't care about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just such a different
But even
world.
then, like I said, to this day, that Budweiser, the Clydesdale kneeling commercial to this day will make me cry. Yeah. And I can go watch it anytime I want. I can go watch it. You can go watch it right now on YouTube. Don't watch it right now during the show, but
right.
after the show, go watch it. And you'll cry just because you're like, oh, and maybe you had to be alive when that happened, right? Maybe you had to like remember that day. I don't know, but that's just such a moving commercial. And in fact, I'd have to give it some serious thought. That's probably the best commercial of my lifetime when you're talking about, from a marketing standpoint, when you're talking about tying everything that's going on in the world in where you don't want your product to overshine it, right? Where you don't want to, and it didn't feel at all like they were trying to capitalize on it. It really, truly felt like they were trying to honor what happened there. And, from a marketing standpoint, I could argue that as probably being one of the best commercials of all time. So, and Budweiser has many of those.
Yeah,
right?
They do. Speaking of not remembering, they had another just general Budweiser commercial in the Super Bowl that I liked, but I don't remember now specifically what it was. But they definitely, I feel, do a good job of touching things that are happening in the world or emotions or feelings. And I think that's what they were going for, but it was a miss. Yeah. This one was a miss.
And it's, the other thing is too, it's a lot harder when people when we don't agree on like the common things, right? Like the stuff that we all used to be like, well, that all makes, because I think we were all in the same place after 9/11, right?
Right.
So it made
now
it easier.
Can agree what's a racist video and what
right.
Yeah, no more puppy monkey baby. They used to be very memorable. You would still be talking about, you remember that horrifying thing.
Yeah, we're still talking about it. Puppy monkey
or
baby.
The E-Trade baby.
That was terrifying.
But still, you remember it. These now, probably not going to remember, but they spend so much money on them. So much money.
Yeah, and the only reason I remember the Budweiser one is because I watch a commercial and I'm like, that's not good. Like you expect so much more from Budweiser. And Budweiser in history has had some of the best commercials of all time.
Yes.
That's a Budweiser commercial. Spuds McKenzie, Budweiser commercial.
Spuds McKenzie.
Go down the list of the frogs, right?
Yes.
Why, sir? We were all walking around the next day going, Bud, why, sir? Like people were doing it. So,
well, but I think part of it too is also the percentage of people watching is just less. There's so many more options. This year was interesting, I thought, because the Olympics were airing at the same time. And speaking of the Olympics, the Olympics are in Italy. Italy is, I believe, 7 hours ahead of us. So, hey, news organizations, maybe don't give us major spoilers.
How do you do this now? How do you do this? Like when we were growing up and the Olympics were in like Lillehammer, or actually that's not, but like, you could do it because you could just not show anything and nobody would talk about it. Yeah. We didn't have a way to talk about it. There's no possible way for news organizations to not do this these days because
Please, I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying, because what you're about to say, there's nothing they can do to fix it anymore, because we can all, if you want the answer, they want to be the ones giving you the information.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, you'll just pick up your phone and find out the actual answer, right? It's just, I don't know how they do this anymore.
Well, the problem, I think, is it's not just if you go to a news site, you're going to get it spoiled. It's they're sending it to your inbox. You're getting an alert.
Yeah.
I found out who won the Super Bowl before it ended because we were watching delayed, because I got a news alert. Here's who won the Super Bowl. But there was a major spoiler for the Olympics, and I'm not going to say what it was, because in case you haven't watched it yet, or
it's time now. You can say it.
I can say.
I feel if you haven't watched it yet, we're talking about something that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Now that
all right. So Lindsey Vonn came back, age 41. Last week fell.
Not really. I wouldn't say she came back.
Well, she had a fall the week before, tore her ACL, and was still going to ski. Well, she still did ski.
Yeah.
She had a massive wipeout.
Yeah.
Like, had to be airlifted off the mountain.
Do you know that's her? But she had to be airlifted off the mountain when she tore her ACL.
Right. A week ago. I did know that.
We're standing out in the driveway. I was talking to my neighbor in the morning. We're standing out in the driveway, shoveling the snow, we're each shoveling the snow on our driveways. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, he started talking about the Olympics, and he said something about Lindsey Vonn getting airlifted. And I'm like, no, that was last week. And he's like, no, he goes, they just said she got airlifted. I'm like, no. I said, dude, you're hearing the wrong story. That was last week. He wasn't wrong. She got airlifted. It's the second time. I feel like you should, 2 airlifts in like less than 10 days. I think you need to. I think that's your sign going, all right, that's good.
But I hadn't watched it yet. I woke up in the morning and was reading my email, and People magazine pushed it out as a news alert.
Yeah.
Lindsey Vonn crashes. And now I'm watching the event knowing she's going to crash. Not exactly when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It just takes an element out of it.
But what can they do? And how? I'm honestly asking you this because I don't know. There's no possible way they can't report something like that.
I don't know the right answer. Maybe don't push it out. Maybe the email is major Olympic spoiler. Click here if you want to see what it is.
Maybe, but also maybe the answer is, hey, they need to be showing these things live, not in prime time. And for the people who are interested, you got to watch them. And if they're in Europe, the idea of waiting until like 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night to show this, if anything has to go, that's got to be it, right?
Now, if you stream, you can watch it live. Yeah.
Then it's your fault.
Well, I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. to watch.
I was going to say, you should have got up at 4 to watch it. Well, then you don't care that much.
But I don't know. It really bothered me that I knew it, and I didn't say anything to my SO because, I don't want to, if I have something spoiled for me, I generally try to not pass that on.
Yeah.
To Paul. And I always turn music on when I'm in his car, and he dropped me off somewhere. I had a show, and he picked me up. The music was still on, and he said, I made the mistake of switching to news radio, and I got a spoiler. I was like, oh, I already know, but I was saving you. So maybe don't turn off the radio station I put on. That's just what I'm saying. But I will say, I love the Olympics. I love watching. I do like the streaming because you can just pick what event you want to watch. You're like, oh, I just want to watch this event, and you just go to it. Because, if you're watching it on television, you have to watch the package they've put together for you of all the events, and they kind of truncate things or whatever. Like, we watched all of the skiers, and man, I have to wonder how much that impacts you to be, because the course hold was a half an hour.
Yeah.
So that person who thought they were going in 2 minutes now is a half an hour. Plus, you've also got to be pretty freaking scared to just have seen someone airlifted. Yeah,
but she should have been out there skiing anyway. Like, I'm sorry, torn ACL.
That was her choice, and she made it.
It was her choice, totally. But you're gonna fall. You can't have a torn ACL, and you can't have a torn ACL and walk. Let alone.
Did you see what happened?
Yeah,
she caught her pole on one of the flags, and it just spun her around. So it wasn't even necessarily because of her knee.
Yeah, but but
maybe it was. Maybe her balance
she was probably
more
wider
off.
going into the turn than she should have been. That's what caught the pole. I don't know. I just know that you can't at that level. At my level, it wouldn't matter if I had a broken leg. I would look exactly the same skiing down that hill, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you're golfing and you golf with a friend. He's like, oh, I only hit Titleist golf balls. I ain't hitting anything but Titleist. Like, why? Like you could pick up a ball out of the water hazard and hit it exactly this. Like you're not at the level where the brand matters. Yeah. Some people are, right? When you have your swing down so perfectly, then yeah, you go, oh, you know what? I might need a tour balata, or I might need something that balances off this way. You go, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. But when your handicap is like 18, it does not matter what damn golf ball you're hitting.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like with skiing, like that kind of thing, a torn ACL, she's gonna try to do something that you just can't do with a torn ACL.
Yeah, it was very horrifying to watch, and it was spoiled for me. So thanks.
Is ski jumping happened yet?
Some of it, yeah. Some of the qualifiers have happened, I think.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Man, that stuff's scary. There was apparently some controversy. Now, I didn't see this. Paul told me about it, so I didn't see it from a source. But there was some controversy, I believe it was for the men, because they had extra fabric in the crotchal region of their ski suits, which in theory made them more aerodynamic so they would fly farther. I don't know if that
feels like that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it, to have extra fabric down there?
Well, I don't know. Not for me.
No, yeah, but for the men, you're like, no, that should be tight down there. And you're like, nah, I guess mine's.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I can tell you that that's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like ski jumping, and I go back to. Everyone's like, well, who's the first person to do that? It's so dumb. I'm like, I'm not worried about the first person to do it. That was some drunk idiot. Who's the second person? Who's the one who watched that person do it and go, yeah, you know what? I can do it better than that. And then did that a second time. That's the person who we need to.
Well, did you see the newest sport coming next to the Summer Olympics? Flag football.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Boy, I don't care about regular football. I really don't care about flag football.
Hey, we do one more here real quick before we get out?
Sure.
I know we're running kind of late, but this one I got to share because I'm going to be flying in a couple of weeks on Southwest Airlines.
All right.
And I've been reading stories about everybody losing their minds over Southwest Airlines. Now because they changed their policy at Southwest Airlines
for the seating.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a commercial about that, wasn't there, or something?
There was a commercial. It was actually pretty funny. You should look that one up. You will appreciate it. For anyone who's ever flown Southwest, their commercial was spot on about the seat melee.
So I'm going to tell you this quick. On Southwest Airlines. Okay, hold on. Paul just updated us. So I don't even think that's going to. Okay, I'll put it up, but it takes the entire screen. Officials from the Norwegian men's ski jumping team were caught on video altering the crotch area of jumpsuits after they'd been inspected and approved. Well, yeah, that just sounds wrong. They inserted illegal stitching and extra material in the crotch region, which can add surface area and aerodynamics, which gives athletes a bigger wing. I get what they're saying.
Yeah, it does.
And the potential to jump farther. This was deemed cheating. So what happened to them? Did they get kicked off?
I think they probably got disqualified. If they deemed it cheating, I'm sure they were disqualified.
It's embarrassing. That's Norway. You would think the Norwegians would have to cheat at that kind of stuff. They should be pretty good at that.
I'm surprised they had to add extra material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get off the ski jumpers' crotches and back to Southwest Airlines.
Yeah.
They had to jump without suits.
That would be horrifying. Back to Southwest.
Naked ski jumping.
Absolutely not.
Oh, that would be fun. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm the ski jump.
That would hurt. I think there would be bruising.
It would definitely hurt.
Yeah.
I saw that once too. Like did like this like massive naked. I saw a story once where they're like where the naked people all went up and did skydiving.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and then when I realized that yes, though technically they were, the men actually like they bungeed basically. They were wearing something to make it to cut the flapping down because
good.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Ooh.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Southwest Airlines, naked all of our heads. Okay. Southwest Airlines, people are losing their minds. When I fly Southwest, I'm usually alone, and I will almost always get that seat with it's 16A, it's the seat, or the other one on the other side, 16D or whatever. It's the seat where there is no seat in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's the exit row.
Yeah, it's the exit row, and there's no seat in front of you, and you literally I could lean, like you could almost lay flat in that section.
Yeah.
You have that's my favorite seat. By the way, I saw somebody get kicked out of that seat once.
How?
On the other side. Just a tip for everybody. When they ask you if you're willing to perform these, like you're in the emergency exit row, they come up to you and they go, "You're in the emergency exit row. I need a verbal yes from each of you that you will, help people," and blah, blah, blah. They do that, like the whole thing.
He said no.
He's like, "Probably not." And she's like, "Okay, get out of the seat." And he's like, "No, I'm kidding." She's like, "Get out of the seat."
Yeah, you can't take that back.
Anybody want? Yep. She's like, that's what she said. She goes, "I'm sorry. Now you've said that. You can't sit in that seat anymore. You get out." He's like, "I'm good." He got really mad, but they kicked him out of the seat. They put him in a non-exit row, and they let somebody else come and sit in that seat. Few things you don't joke about in an airport, right? Don't say the word bomb. Don't say anything about hijacking. And when they ask you on that plane, if you're willing to perform this, if you want to stay in that seat,
say yes.
You better say yes, and don't joke about it, which is difficult for me to do.
Right.
And then, like, look, okay, if you're not going to help, just say you're going to help. Like,
right, you're not signing a contract.
Just say you're good, and all you gotta do is open the door. I mean, really, the main thing is opening the window and getting out, and getting out of everybody's way, which you'd probably do anyway, right?
I would have.
Okay, regardless. Anyway. I'm sorry, we're spiraling. Okay, all right. So, I almost can't even finish this story now because I'm like, we're not going to get done with this before 45 minutes or
if you keep not telling the story, we won't.
Sorry. Okay. All right. I always get that seat. I don't care. I mean, so the new seating policy, all this kind of stuff, this does not bother me or change anything. Mm-hmm. I almost always have an exit row seat. Almost always, just because when you got to pay extra, but you can always get that exit row seat and reserve it. If it's not that big one, I still always have an exit row seat. Which also means I board in group 1 every time. Mm-hmm. No big deal. And now that's it's boarding group 1, except they go through, all right, does anybody have children? Okay, now let's let servicemen and women board. Mm-hmm. And now let's let the elderly board. And now let's let if your last name starts with H, today's the day you get to now board. Like they let everybody, hey, do you have are you bald? Are you missing hair? Yep. Okay. Now you come on. So
by the time if they have the credit card or, you have X amount of status.
Yeah, right. So by the time you get on there's already been like 18 people have boarded. Yeah. However, the good news is none of those people can sit in the exit row.
Oh, right. Because they were pre-boarded.
If you're elderly, if you have kids in a stroller, if you have you can't sit in the exit row. And they've tried, and the flight attendants on Southwest are excellent at saying, nope, sorry, you can't. They usually stand by the exit row, and when people are like, nope, can't, you're pre-boarding, can't sit here, nope, can't. So people are now losing their minds because Southwest has changed this, and now they operate like every other airline in the world. You assign seats now when you buy your ticket. So what I'm saying is it didn't bother me because I've always assigned I know already where I'm sitting, right? I have an idea of one of the seats I'm sitting in. But the other thing so now they're boarding the boarding group 1 is still like the up front and the preferred, except it's only the window seats. Mm-hmm. And then they board like a group or 2 behind you, also the window seats. And so boarding group 2, you may be sitting in like one of these excellent seats, like these premier seats up front or whatever, but you're now in boarding group 2. And the idea is people who come on who get into the window seats, they will be out of the way and nobody's, you're not way. So it in theory, it makes the plane load a lot faster. But what's really ticking off all these Southwest Airlines people and Southwest Airlines are cracking down on this. When the plane is ready to go, everybody's boarded. There are a whole bunch because people want to pay for the cheapest seat possible. Mm-hmm. There are a whole bunch of the premium seats that are still available. And people, because they're on Southwest, think you can just get up and go into another seat. They're not letting that happen. They are very strictly enforcing, no, if you didn't pay the extra for the extra seat, just because it's going to stay open, you're not going to sit there. Nobody's going to sit there. And that is ticking off all these people who pay like $89 for, a ride out to Las Vegas. They're not letting them move up and change. You can't change seats anymore. That's what's ticking them up. I do too.
I also feel like it was your idea to start boarding window first.
It wasn't my idea.
Well, no, I feel like we've talked about it.
We did talk about it. There's actually the perfect way. A scientist figured out, a number guy figured out the right way in order to. So it was like every other row, window seats, and then after that there was like, okay, now it's the back section, the 2 middle seats on each side, and blah blah. So like there was a perfect way to like quickly load a plane and say, okay, now this section, now the passenger and aisle seat can board in this section on this side, and there was a whole way to do that.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, that sounded familiar. I just flew, and this is a real quick story. I flew out of Houston. I flew from Chicago to Houston back. And as I was coming through TSA pre-check line in Houston, which thankfully is open now. The last time I flew out of there, it was not. It was under construction, so I had to take my shoes off, which really pissed me off. Well, that, and I had to take my computer out. That's even more annoying.
Yeah. So
I hand my ID to the dude, to the TSA guy, and my nails were painted like a really dark red. And he says, "I've got a question for you. Did the toes match do the fingers match the toes? Or do the toes match the fingers?" However he asked it. And I just kind of looked at him. No. And I walked away. It was so gross.
Well, it was 5 and 5.
I think he meant the color, but I don't know why he was asking me that. And it felt very gross. It is gross. Yeah, right? See, it's not just me. That's creepy, isn't it?
You don't. Here's general rule. Don't ask a woman. Actually, don't ask anybody, but I would say especially females. Don't ask them about body parts you can't see.
Thank you. That is actually a very good rule. New golden rule. Don't ask about body parts you can't see.
Yeah, if she wanted you to see it, then you could see it.
I would have had flip-flops on.
If somebody's wearing a very low-cut top and they've got like a dragon head poking out of it, you can ask about the dragon. That's right. I think you can, because you can see the dragon, right?
Yeah, so you could have made the choice to cover it, sure.
Right. So you could see the dragon, you could ask about the dragon, but you can't wonder and say, hey, you can't be like, hey, where's that dragon's tail going? Or say, right.
Yeah.
So, in general. Okay, you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, but yeah. So that was my little gross,
It is gross. Why would they ask that?
I don't know. It threw me off guard. I wasn't prepared for that kind of questioning. And I think I just stared at him for a second of like, what?
Well, but you can't, even if, what a weird.
So weird.
At the very least, that's a creepy foot guy. And that's being generous, because it might be more, that might be more.
Right. And
definitely,
he's the TSA guy.
Yeah.
Checking my ID.
Definitely go check that guy's basement for a hole.
Oh, God.
I
think that's where we leave it, Dan. I think that's where we leave it.
That's our podcast for this week. We gave you a little extra bonus because we didn't do this live last week. So yeah, a little extra bonus. And spinners, you'll get your bonus content on Friday. Everyone else, we're back again on Monday recording this live. If you need to re-listen to all of this fantastic material that we did for you tonight, the podcast will drop on Wednesday. We hope you listen there. All right. Spinners, I'm sorry, if you're not a spinner and you would like to be one, go to our website, stillspinningpodcast.com. That is still spinning. I don't know why we're only seeing part of it, but it's stillspinningpodcast.co.
Cool.
Can you see that? Is that doing it on your computer
It
too?
is doing it on my computer as well. We need to make that font just a little smaller.
Stillspinningpodcast.com. Go there, check it out, find out how you too can be a spinner. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We will catch you next week here on the Still Spinning Podcast. Bye-bye.